And then I realized that when you were saying negative, I was negative in the sense that for whatever you are telling me, I was thinking wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong, right. I was
Black and white.
Black and white.
You didn't see the grey.
Now I realized that there is a grey, that is stress relieved, that grey. Go step by step, learn how it's done, and then you can be more relaxed and enjoy it. And always delegate, something that I was not doing before. Teamwork and trust who is working with you. And they don't realize that the day of their wedding is a party. Those that are gonna get it, that is just a big party from the morning until night, they will enjoy it.
Yeah.
They will enjoy it.
Yeah.
The lifestyle of a hotel, it doesn't make you feel to have a family too early. Meaning before 30 or whatever. Due to the lifestyle. You finish late in the night, then you would like to go have a drink and etc. etc. So you think that is the perfect life.
I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels. Today, I'm so happy to have with us Sakis Ioannou, who was our hotel's F&B manager and worked with us for 15 years in total. He decided to have a break from the industry, and we're going to discuss that in some detail. Is now working for another lovely hotel here in Limassol, Cyprus. And we're going to go into a little bit about his history, background, and some really interesting tips and stories about hotel life and hotel living. Sagi, thank you so much for coming in today.
I would like to thank you for being here, first of all. It's nice to be back in St. Raphael Resort and Marina, my home actually. And I'm looking forward for this discussion.
Oh, great. Well, Sakimo, as I mentioned, you've been in the industry for a long, long time. Yes. You are in food and beverage, but tell us a little bit about why you decided to go into hotels in the first place and how you ended up in food and beverage and becoming a manager.
And firstly, I was influenced, let's say, from family that had to do with my grandfather, that used to be a chef in one hotel, and also from my father that also finished culinary arts, and then he was working for a few years in the industry. So I was always influenced by them, looking at them. And then when I decided to follow up on my studies concerning hotel management. Prior to that, I was first year going as a trainee in a hotel prior starting, and I loved it. It was something very nice. And I remember
you tested out the water before you actually went to study it at university.
And I remember that it was in a nearby hotel that I did then I went on like a summer job as a pool attendant. It was like a couple of days after that I've seen a guy coming down to the pool in the middle of the summer with his suit and tie. And I was wondering who was that, how the people started behaving around him and stuff, but also guests. And okay, it was GM actually. So I was intrigued by that. And I said, I want to be like him.
I want to be him.
Yeah. And that's why I follow up.
And it was the reaction of the guests and the staff.
No, it doesn't mean that the reaction of the staff, it was they were intimidated.
No.
The respect, the way that they approached him, the way he was talking back to them, all this made me feel like I want to be him. Yes.
I want to be him. Yeah. And so then you went to study hotel management?
I did hotel management. And
where?
Then hotel management I did in Cyprus in Inter College for years. And then I went and I did my master's in leisure and tourism management. That was in Sheffield for a year. And I came back and I did management trainee in Apollonia Hotel.
Okay, here in Limassol.
It was here in Limassol with Luis. And then I was sent by Luis in Mykonos, in Nicosia. And then I came to St. Raphael Resort and Marina.
Well, you stayed for 15 years. And I want to touch on that without any bias.
Yep.
Because obviously it's the hotel that I run. But to ask you, what is it that makes somebody stay somewhere for so long? Because our industry is known to have a high turnover of staff.
Yes.
And you stayed for a very long time in one place.
Yes.
So if anybody's listening and is running a hotel, what is it that made someone like you or anyone stay in one place for so long?
Look, if you feel the hotel like is your home, then then you stay. But you need to feel it that is your home. Plus, it has to do with your co-workers. It's very important to make you feel that you are part of a team, that you are part of a family. And that is something that, not because we are here, I remember from the beginning that I came here, you could hear that we're a family hotel. And when we say we're a family hotel, we didn't meant only about guest related
Yeah, the guests come with children.
but it was meant for the staff that were family. And I always remember that makes you want to stay. Regardless of hours, regardless of the hardships of work, I mean, specific departments, this is what made me stay, to be honest. That.
And yet, with the pandemic and with the stress and the pressure,
Yes.
you reached what we laugh because we're about the same age, the 40 hoods,
Yes.
and had what many people have in many, many industries, not just hospitality, but if I can call it that, a bit of a burnout.
Yes. It was,
You were, exhausted, tired. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
if there was no pandemic, I was going to keep in the same pace. But due to the pandemic, when we sat home for months, and you start to realize how is to stay home on a weekend, how is to get to know the people next to you better. I mean,
Your family, your friends.
family, friends. Is you come to, you start realizing that it's not only work. I did that, and that is the time that I started having second thoughts about what I'm doing, how many hours I was working, etc., etc., etc. But then it was proved to be wrong, to be honest.
In the end. So I think a lot of people had that with the pandemic. It was such a, unthinkable event that happened in the world. Nobody could have planned it. I mean, I felt like I was living in a bad sci-fi movie. And I think many people in our industry who are used to their job being their whole life, it's a lifestyle, working in hotels, suddenly had Sunday lunch, suddenly had Christmas at home, suddenly had evenings. And they were like, oh, this is quite good. And then I think a lot of people remembered while they were at home, the annoying guests we have to deal with, the overtimes we have to do, and started just remembering the negatives and not the positives. And then when we had the chance to start working again, all of those not so great feelings stayed with a lot of us. So it took a while to build back that love for what we do and that sense of purpose and teamwork.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit then about, then what happened to you and how you felt. And
Like the first couple of months of staying home, resting and everything is nice.
yeah.
I mean, you get into a more relaxed mood.
And you needed it. I mean, you said
I needed it.
Yeah, when you left, you said, right, I'm going to spend 3 months doing nothing, just being me.
After 2 months, you start realizing that it's not fulfilling you. And plus, you feel frustration, to be honest. I mean, you feel like you don't offer anything in general, in society, to your family, to blah, blah, blah.
Which is a basic human need, yeah.
Yes. And when you get used to a specific lifestyle, I mean, lifestyle, I don't mean...
no, not materialistic, like
not
literally
materialistic,
way of living.
No, I mean, and all of a sudden, you decide to be like public employee. It doesn't work. I mean, it's not fulfilling you at all. And I'm going to be on that note, I had the same discussion with a fellow F&B like 2 days ago, where he was moved from his position to, in our eyes, a better position, meaning in central offices, working Monday to Friday, doing something related to the F&B. The guy got psychologically is down. Honestly, I was talking with him, and he told me, I cannot stand. I thought I was gonna relax. First of all,
he was moved from operations, like the heart operations, to
central
admin.
Offices, to admin. Central offices Monday, Friday, and the guy got frustrated. He told me I was home on the weekend, being used to be in a hotel, and all of a sudden I just have, don't take me wrong, my wife nagging everything, the kids nagging about everything, but me, I feel the need to be in the hotel.
So what is it about hotels and operations and food and beverage that draws so many people to it, in your opinion?
First of all, it's not one. F&B is not just one part. It's multi parts connected together. Meaning dealing from restaurants, bars, eventing with guests, front of the house, back of the house, with the chefs. I mean, it's so many things connected together. Yes, they require spending hours, spending plenty of your personal time too. But when you start learning them, it's very interesting. It's fulfilling you.
Mm-hmm.
It's fulfilling you. I mean, just the opportunity of meeting in front of the house and back of the house, meaning guests or employees, different nationalities and different mentalities, just to get into that environment is so interesting.
Is it the feeling part of a team and also
Yes.
fulfilling giving back?
Yes. I mean, being in the F&Bs is the biggest department of a hotel, always.
Absolutely.
So being a part of a team, and not just giving back, the team giving in between them.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most important. I mean, it doesn't matter from the position that you have, the lowest to the highest. When they are a team together and they give information to the one to the other, is the best feeling, honestly.
And knowing you, which I do,
Mm-hmm.
you love weddings. It was
Yes.
your favorite thing. It's your forte. Tell us a bit about weddings. Firstly, why you love it so much, and give us some funny stories, because you have a lot up your sleeve.
Yeah. From what I calculated, I must have done 455 weddings.
Imagine 455
local
couples.
weddings. I'm not calculating anything else.
So we're talking a huge chunk, a huge demographic in Cyprus. Know you personally, and
I know.
hopefully have super happy memories of their most special day with you.
Why I like weddings? First of all, it's one-day event. So you need to give your best to make the wedding couple and parents happy. I mean, for most people, it's one-time event. It's not always. It might be a second time or a third time for some. So what I liked about it was giving my best couples to the parents, trying to get what they had in mind and materialize it. That was interesting for me. That was especially when the bride was giving you the flexibility to do what you wanted. Suggest, hear you out, and implement it. That was the best thing for me. And the best moment was the following of the wedding, when you will see them either at breakfast, either lunchtime, when they were waking up, and just getting that thank you. It was the best day of our lives. I mean, that is the best feeling. That I was so much into it. Now, funny stories. Actually, funny stories. There are one of the stories I remember. It was actually I had a young couple that they got married, and they were so, I mean, quiet young couple. And I remember the guy in charge of making the weddings up until closure. He always used to call me the next day to inform me if anything was on, off, or something was bad or okay. And I remember that he called me and he was a bit frustrated, a bit upset that the wedding shut down at 1 o'clock was shut down, if I remember correct. I told him why, because the groom was throwing up. He was wasted.
And to anyone listening, weddings in Cyprus usually start at like 8, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
and they go on until 3 in the morning. So
Easily.
even later. So one is like a disaster. Something's happened.
Yes, if it goes one, it means it's a disaster. Something's going wrong. So anyway, he told me such and such, and then I came into the hotel, and I got a call from the reception telling me that the wedding couple is here. They want you. So I went there feeling like, okay, something is going to be wrong.
Yeah.
The groom and the bride, they were so enthusiastic, and they told me that they had the best day of their life. I was like, guys, 1 o'clock we shut down. And the groom told me, yes, but we had the best time of our life. I told him, yes, but I heard that you are throwing up, and the one and the other. He told me, yes, I had a couple of drinks. I'm not used to it, if I remember the way he said it.
Yeah, he definitely couldn't have been a big
Meaning
drinker.
what? He told me the last time that I had drinks, it was when he was studying. Actually, when he was, so it was like a decade ago, he had alcoholic beverage. So for him, the wedding, let's say, started, it was wedding dinner only. It started, I think, around 9:30. By 1 o'clock, he finished his wedding. All happy.
But he had a great time.
He had the best day of his life.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the first time that I've seen something like that, especially for Saint Raphael
type
history of
weddings.
weddings. It's like, yes, it was the first time. No.
And tell us some bride stories, because oh my goodness, there's so many like jokes going around always about brides being bridezilla and being neurotic or wanting strange things.
Brides 1 week in advance, up until the previous day of the wedding, they're close to having a nervous breakdown. On the day of the wedding, they are always relaxed. Always.
Always, huh?
Yes. The groom is getting stressed because the groom is never involved in anything. So on the day of the wedding, they remember everything. Now, it was times that I got calls at 3 a.m. Not joking now.
The day before or the day of the wedding?
The day of the wedding. I mean, it was Saturday the wedding, Saturday 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so just before.
Just for relaxing. No, just to get their stress out. I'm not joking now. And
so you were like being like a psychologist, like the shrink for them to be like.
My wife's best woman, it was prior actually meeting with my wife. She was one of them. She got married here. And she was one of them who called me at 3. Instead of calling the groom, they were calling me. I had that thing, whatever you want, whatever you need, and especially when you get close to them, they feel like if I call him, it's gonna stress me out.
Yeah.
So I had calls at 3. I had calls in the middle of the night telling me I'm not coming to the wedding. Honestly, now from breakdown, they get
the stress and the anxiety and why do you think people have that before a wedding? I mean, we joke about it. Everybody knows it happens, but having seen so many couples yourself, why?
Because they don't. All of us involved in a wedding, meaning from florists, musicians,
decorators,
the ones that have the venues, we're professionals. This is what we do. Most of them, they don't realize that just say what you want and it's going to be done. They feel like they have to be on top of it to be perfect.
So it's a control thing.
90% of the brides, they think that they can control it. The advice that I was giving and most of those courting weddings in general, they are giving is that just say what you want, lay back, because anyway, in the day of the wedding, if a mistake is going to happen, it's going to happen. I mean, are things that are out of the control of anyone.
Exactly, and there's always some human error.
So they are brides, they're becoming control freaks. They might not be in their lives, but because of the one special day, they will become control freaks.
And also, I guess that it's, made into such a big thing all their lives. I mean, 5-year-olds play with Barbie brides.
Correct.
You watch all these movies. It's always a thing. Correct. The parents will always say, when you get married. And it's all this stress and emphasis and pressure is put on this one day.
And they don't realize that the day of their wedding is a party. Those that are gonna get it, that is just a big party from the morning until the night, they will enjoy it.
Yeah.
They will enjoy it.
Yeah. Like me.
No, yours was a party. 2 days party.
Yeah, it was, I think, 9 days. We had started a week earlier. I know. That's what I was telling everyone. And anybody listening to this, remember. The whole day of my wedding, I was really relaxed. And everyone was saying, why are you so relaxed? Yeah. And I kept telling everyone 2 pictures. And some friends didn't get it. They were like, why do you keep saying 2 pictures? And I said, guys, that's all it remains. Like, this is a big party. You will never look at your wedding album until your kids are like 15 years old and asked to see the things. Okay, maybe now it's different because everything goes on social media. But really, you frame 2 pictures because you're not going to, even if you frame more, they will slowly start being put away because you have your kids, you have other family holidays, you have other happy times. So you frame 2 pictures. And I'm like, that's it. So all this money, all this stress, all this, chaos goes into 2 pictures.
Exactly. And your wedding was set up in 4
We did it super quickly. No,
it was
from January and mid-April. So 3 months. Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah. Everybody thought I was pregnant because they were like, why are you getting married so quickly? Because I was like, why have the stress and why prolong this agony of all the families getting involved? And we did a good job, I think, didn't we? Yeah. It was nice.
It was nice.
It was a fun time. So let's go into a little bit more about your family and so you obviously have, you've told me that you would like to have children.
Yes.
Would you say that part of the reason, you're not old, now, but you didn't have children earlier was because of your job, because of the the hours and the stress, or were you just not ready? And
now that I had that break and I'm back, before I used to blame it due to the hours, due to the one now I realized it's not that. First of all, maybe I was thinking, okay, the lifestyle of a hotel, it doesn't make you feel to have a family too early. I mean, meaning before 30 or whatever. Due to the lifestyle. I mean, you finish late in the night, then you would like to go have a drink and etc. So you think that is the perfect life.
Although I think I would say most people now, I mean, the majority of people have kids, because also women want to work and get their career organized. So many people don't want to have children before 30. Yeah.
So it had to do with the lifestyle. And now that what I realized is that it's the stress, not that the job was giving me, it's the stress that I was putting onto myself because of work. Meaning what? Now I realize that you can do your job with less stress. Now I realize that. Before I thought it was the operation of the hotel was stressing me out. Now that I went to another hotel and I said, okay, let's clear everything out in my head. And I realized that you can do everything like I used to do them, but with less stress. I was imposing to myself stress. And I think this is what most people, when working in hotels, they are doing. They are giving stress to themselves.
So you mean it's a mindset thing?
It's a mindset thing. And that in the end, it comes back to the family, meaning you're going home, you're all pissed off, you're all stressed out. Is the last thing that you are thinking about having a family.
So how would you change that? How have you changed your mindset, and how would you advise listeners to do it?
Look, after the burnout, let's say, and now that I went back, I said to myself that the day that I'm going to get stressed and the day that I'm going to get, I don't know, out of,
frustrated, irritated,
angry, meaning angry in the sense that I'm going to take it out on other people, either is fellow co-workers, especially at home. I said that is going to be the day that I'm going to stop. And I said it to myself. And then I had a sit down with my wife, and she made me like a stress-free session. And she explained me a few things that I never thought of. I remember that you used to tell me that.
But who listens to their boss? Takes a wife to knock it into you.
And then... It took me time. But
hopefully I planted the seed. Hopefully I made it a little bit easier for her.
So after that discussion, I remember that you used to tell me that you were telling me that I was negative. And I was telling you, no, I'm always trying to be on top of. And then I realized that when you were saying negative, I was negative in the sense that for whatever you are telling me, I was thinking wrong, right. I was
black and white.
Black and white.
You didn't see the grey.
Now I realized that there is a grey, that is stress relieved, that grey.
Yeah.
And this is how I said I'm going to be more relaxed. I can do the work. I trust my abilities that I'm going to do it. And from there on.
I'm so happy for you. Would you advise... So what would be the advice to the younger you?
To the younger me? Up until the age of 30, 32, you need to be there. I mean, you need to give yourself into that to get...
You mean you need to put 100% of your attention,
of yourself.
Your efforts,
and
your time.
You have I mean, up until the age of 32, you have the strength to do it. 100% of your time there. Learn as much as you want, as much as you can. And from there on, then is when you feel that you are ready. You are ready. You feel like, I don't have a weakness. From there on, you just have to enjoy it. I mean, you actually can enjoy this job. I mean, especially in the F&B department. That is my advice. Go step by step, learn how it's done, and then you can be more relaxed and enjoy it. And always delegate, something that I was not doing before. Teamwork and trust who is working with you.
Oh, I'm so happy that you've said that, because I always say that as well, but more to women, because I always say that if that's my advice to younger women, in that if they want to have a career and have a family, they've really got to give it their all and very quickly, and to get where they want to be as quickly as they possibly can. So to learn as much as they can. So they have to put 100% of effort and attention into their work by, 30 or 32. And then they can have their family and be secure that they're not on that ladder anymore. They've got to where they need to go, and they can come back to it, and it's easier for them to work. But actually, now that you've said pretty much the same thing, I'm actually taking back what I'm saying. And like, why am I only saying that as a guide for women? That's so important for anyone because it's unfair to say, well, men also don't need to have that time with their children or their home, and also for their own mental relief, to be able to enjoy, as you say, enjoy their work and also have that time. It might not be just with children. It could be with their friends, their families, their partners. Because when we talk about family or home life, we're not just referring to people who are parents. It's wrong to say that. Everybody deserves to have the work-life balance.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Interesting. And who was your mentor?
My mentor was Mr. Thrasos Mikelidis.
He was your
boss? He was my boss. He was the F&B manager of Central Rafael Resort and Marina for years. He was like a father figure for me, meaning that, when I came to Central Rafael, I was just professionally 2 years in the hospitality industry.
Well, you were 20-something.
27.
And he was 50-something, I think.
Yes. And what I liked about Thrasos was that his approach was not the army. It was not like in an army style. I mean, it's this, and this, and this. He was one of the few persons that I met in my life that he was willing to give knowledge without afraid that his position.
Exactly. I was going to say that someone would take his job.
He was so confident about himself, confident in the good way, meaning that he has nothing to be afraid, and he was giving knowledge out. And he was like a father figure. I mean, he took me from, 10% knowledge on the F&B department, and he increased by a lot. No, that was Mr. Thrasos.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about the family feeling, about being part of a team, feeling connected with people.
Yes. For me, it was something. He was the one. He was the one that.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, I hope he listens to this. We love you, Thraso, if you're listening. So I'm going to close now with our questions that have been put together by the team. So they are no longer in a bucket, which is how we originally started, because we realized the cleaners threw them out. So I keep them with me. I don't know. I haven't vetted these questions. So please feel free to pull one. There we go. Okay, there we go. Got it. Right. So let's see what you got. What's been the most memorable moment of your career so far? That's a nice question.
Memorable moment.
Most memorable moments.
I have to say, when I did the 30th when I did the 30 years anniversary of Central Rafael.
Oh, 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Because it was the time that I just took over the F&B. In a short period, we had to put it together. And with the help...
Typical me. Oh, I remember there's something to celebrate. Let's do it in 2 months.
It's not only you.
Okay, good. I'm happy.
Yes. With the help of everybody, I think we set up something incredible.
We did.
And I remember...
So let's tell the listeners, what did we organize? We had a huge party.
We had a huge party down there. We took all the outdoors area of Central Rafael, all the grass area.
Which is huge.
Huge. And we set it up in different sections with shisha section, food sections, live cooking. Then we had a huge stage with band. I remember it was Joviku. It was the year after Eurovision.
Yeah, he was the Eurovision singer. He was amazing.
Yes, with LED screens showing up all the time about Central Rafael. Honestly, and it was the whole decor that we did. It was the black and gold that we did, I remember.
The black and gold theme. Theme. We had that huge painting as well for the 30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And... so many people coming there, officials and customers and everything. And I remember after...
how many people came, but it was lots. It was hundreds of...
It was, I think we were out for almost 800.
Yeah, I think we were just under 1,000 people.
It was quite big. I mean,
and then we had the after party.
Then we have the other part in the Phoenician.
Which has now been knocked down. It's now the tower at St. Rafa Resort. Apartment.
And why I remember that, it's not only the time that it was short and we had to put it all together, it's because you got on the stage and you thanked me.
Oh,
I remember that. You got on the stage and you thanked me.
Oh, that makes me emotional. Well, I do. I've always thanked you. You know that.
I know.
And
I know.
With you all away. I was with you when you decided to move on. And that I think is the main key to being a good leader, is to really look out for the best for your team. And sometimes the best is to no longer be part of that immediate team and fly away and do your own thing or have your time. And I say that to all the staff in the hotel. If any day somebody wakes up and says, "Oh, I don't want to go to work," for whatever reason, to come and tell us, because maybe we can fix it, or maybe it's time for them to move on. And we might even be able to help them find a job moving on.
I remember you always say that.
Yeah.
I can help you find, if you want,
Find
if you
another
wish
job.
to move on.
Yeah.
I can help you find
It can be another
job.
hotel. It could be completely out of the industry, or maybe we can advise them, or maybe we can help, because life is just too short to do something you don't love. And you've got to wake up every day and feel happy and feel positive and just be the best version of you.
Correct. Yes.
And I say that to my kids, and I say that to all you guys as well. And I mean it. Sagi, thank you so much for coming back, for being on this podcast, Hotel Talk. And we will always wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We'll come and see you and wherever you're working. And we hope you still come back and see everyone here.
I will.
Always part of the family.
Thank you for being here. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you.